Hello everyone, and welcome to Breaking It Down with Alishba, where we break down math so it actually makes sense. Today we're going to be talking about indices, also known as exponents or powers. So if you've ever wondered why we use them or how they work, then you're in the right place. First of all, we need to understand what indices are. Simply put, they're a way of expressing repeated multiplication. So, for example, instead of writing something like 3 times 3 times 3 times 3, you simplify it and you write 3 to the power of 4. And what this means is that I'm multiplying 3 by itself 4 times. So why do we use them? Well, imagine writing 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 every time you want to express that. It's super repetitive. So indices save us time and space by simplifying these kind of terms into powers. Now that we know what they are and why we use them, it's time for us to break down the rules. Let's start with rule number 1, multiplying powers. So when multiplying numbers with the same base, for example, like 2 to the power of 3 times 2 to the power of 4, we add the powers together. So it becomes 2 to the power of 3 plus the power of 4, giving us the answer of 2 to the power of 7. Why do we do this? Well, think of 2 to the power of 3 as 2 times 2 times 2, and 2 to the power of 4 as 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. When you multiply them, you're just adding all the 2's together, which in this case is 7 in total. So again, it's just a simplified way of doing what would be a very, very long sum. Let's move on to rule number 2, the division rule. When dividing two numbers with the same base, you're going to take the powers away. So if I had 5 to the power of 6 divided by 5 to the power of 2, you're really just doing 5 to the power of 6, take away the power of 2, leaving you with 5 to the power of 4. But why do we do this? Well, this works because dividing cancels out the pairs. Let's say we had 5 times itself 6 times, okay? And then I'm dividing it by 5 to the power of 2. So I'll have it 2 times. Now, when you think about a fraction, you're going to simplify it. So I can take out 2 of the 5's, leaving me with 4 in total. So that's why my answer is 5 to the power of 4, because the division cancels out 2 of those pairs. Let's move on to rule number 3, the power of 0 rule. Anything to the power of 0 equals 1. So if I had 7 to the power of 0, it would equal 1. But again, why do we do this? Well, this is because dividing a number by itself equals 1. We know this. If we did 7 divided by 7, it would equal 1. Anything divided by itself is 1. So the same rule applies when it comes to indices. If I had 7 to the power of 1 divided by 7 to the power of 1, remembering our division rule, we'll be doing 7 to the power of 1 take away 1, which gives us the answer of 7 to the power of 0, which we know simplifies to 1. Now let's look at the powers of powers rule. When you have a power raised to another power, like 2 to the power of 3 to the power of 4, you multiply the powers. So you end up with 2 to the power of 3 times the power of 4, giving us the answer of 2 to the power of 12. But again, why do we do this and how does it work? Well, let's break it down. If I have 2 to the power of 3 to the power of 4, this means that I'm multiplying 2 to the power of 3 by itself 4 times, which looks a little bit like this. So each 2 to the power of 3 is 2 times 2 times 2. So if you expand that fully, you would end up with 2 2's multiplied together. So instead of writing it all out, we simplify it and just multiply the powers, which is giving us 12. Remember, indices are there to help us save time and save space and make everything look a little bit neater and also a lot easier. And lastly, the negative powers rule. A negative power, like 2 to the power of negative 3, means that we flip it or take the reciprocal. So 2 to the power of negative 3 equals 1 over 2 to the power of 3, which is the same as writing 1 over 8. But again, why do we do this? Well, this comes from the division rule. For example, if I had 2 to the power of 3 divided by 2 to the power of 6, we know that means 2 to the power of 3 minus the power of 6, which gives us the answer of 2 to the power of negative 3. And basically, that fraction is just another way of showing that and displaying it. So it's the same as writing 2 to the power of 3 over 2 to the power of 6, which simplifies to 1 over 2 to the power of 3. Now that we've deep dived into the different rules, it's time for you to have a go. I've put 3 questions up on the board. I want you to pause the video and try and give these a go, and then we'll go through them together. Okay, go on. Okay, let's look at them together. Number 1, simplify 3 to the power of 2 times 3 to the power of 3. Do we remember the multiplication rule? That's right. We're going to add the powers together. So we'll do 2 plus 3, giving us the answer of 3 to the power of 5. Right, move on to number 2. Evaluate 2 to the power of 3 to the power of 2. What do we do? Absolutely, you're going to times the powers together. So in this case, it'll be 3 times 2, giving us the answer of 2 to the power of 6. And lastly, what's 10 to the power of 0? You're correct. Anything to the power of 0 is 1. So my answer is simply 1. And there you have it. See, indices don't have to be intimidating when you break them down. Remember, it's all about understanding the why behind the rules. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and comment down below what math topic you want me to break down next. Till next time, guys. Bye.